Hi guys, how are you? I'm doing a video on how to prepare yourself financially for the airlines. Okay, so we all know when you work for an airlines, a lot of times, unless you're out of high school or something like that, or coming from maybe retail anyways, it's going to be a big pay cut. It's going to be huge. And how can you actually live on that amount of money? Um, if you are from the coast of the US, like the West Coast or the East Coast, we all know it's super expensive. I'm from California, so we all know it's expensive. And even though we're starting off at low wages, 13, 14, $15 an hour, you can't do anything with that. You can't even you can't even rent a one-bedroom apartment with that, even if you're working probably 5 days a week. It's just not enough money. So what can you do, and how can you prepare yourself financially for an airline job? So there's a few things you can do. Obviously, the obvious things are obviously you're going to lower your expenses. You're going to try to get rid of your credit cards. Don't really have a car payment or have a lower car payment. I know some people go out and buy brand new cars and they're paying $700-800 a month. And that is a big chunk. Especially think about if you do the math and you're only getting $15 an hour, how many hours you have to work just to pay for that car. If you have student loans, try to get them consolidated, lower those expenses as well. I remember being a flight attendant, and I had a coworker, and she had just bought a BMW right before flight attendant school, and she was so stressed out about it because she had that plus the moving expenses, and we were going to be having to live in Chicago, and she just had so many expenses. So she was just like, how am I going to make ends meet? And it's such a fun career, but when you are broke and you don't have any money, it's not fun. I'm just thinking about just the fact that, yeah, I get to travel for free, and I do get discounts on certain things, like food at the airport or hotels or cars. But if you don't have any extra money, then you can't even travel. You can't even use your flight benefits and enjoy them. You're just barely making ends meet and just barely paying your bills. So it is so important to be able to have your bills as low as possible. If you live in an apartment that's super expensive, lower it. We have a mortgage, so obviously I'm not going to move. I have kids, so I can't do that. So there's just different ways in which you can do it. I kept my job. I kept my day job. I know I have a lot of flexibility because I worked at the hospitals, and it's easy to kind of trade your shifts with everybody, and full-time is 3 days a week. You can work 2 days a week, 1 day a week. And right now I'm working a day and a half at the college. So I'm only working a day and a half a week, and then I have my 1 day or so a week at the airport. So I kind of have that flexibility, but I still have that money coming in to be able to have that lifestyle that I love, and be able to just actually have money to eat and everything like that. Obviously, there's simple tricks and simple things that you already know. Eat at home. Try not to eat out so much. I mean, I think about even me as a family of 5, we go to a restaurant, and something like a Denny's will be like 70-80 bucks. Things like that really add up. Even if you're alone and you go and you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner by yourself, and each one is 10 bucks, that's $30 a day. 30 times 3 that's $900 a month. So you can really save a lot of money by just eating food from home. No Starbucks. And if you want to drink coffee, maybe just drink it from home. Make your own cold brew, all that kind of stuff, and save your money for travel. What I did in training, so we have to go to training for about 5 weeks. So maybe a week here and then a week there, we went different, sometimes, Atlanta or Chicago, Salt Lake City, LAX, Colorado Springs, all those different places. So we got per diem, and per diem is meal expenses. So I think it was like 10 for breakfast, 15 for lunch, 30 for dinner. So that's 30, 40, 55, just say $55 a day for food expenses when you're there. And then you add that up times 5. So just say you get $200 and they give it to you cash, or they give it to you through your bank account. Sometimes you can save that money and bring food from home. I brought a lot of food from home and maybe only ate one meal out. We also had, our training center was near like a Walmart, and another time our training center was near a Target. So I pocketed all that money. At one time we were given cash. So we had all this cash, like $200 in cash. And what I did was I probably ended up spending like 30 bucks and using that $30 to buy the food. We had a microwave, we had a fridge in the hotel room, and I just used that money, and then I was able to pocket like $170. So that's another way to save money, is to not use all your per diem. What else? Try not to, obviously you guys know, you guys are smart. I'm not gonna like talk down to you or anything, but just don't make major purchases. You know, all those different things. You just get used to, because the thing is, when you're in the industry and when you're barely starting out, it's hard enough. The lack of sleep, the weird shifts, the working on weekends and different things like that. It's hard enough to be able to adjust to that lifestyle, which is, it's fun after you get used to it. But you don't want to have that same financial stress. You don't want to have that stress of not being able to, on your days off, travel, not being able to make ends meet. If you want to be able to splurge a little bit, you want to be able to do that. So just as long as you keep your expenses down, maybe have a part-time job or a hustle, like a Lyft job, any type of job, a substitute teaching job, any type of other money coming in, selling on Amazon, whatever. I think that makes it so much easier, because to go cold turkey from, you know, a certain amount a year and then going down to nothing and having that airline job, it's a little hard. But if you can kind of have that balance on all ends by keeping your expenses down, still kind of having some type of money come in, I think that would be the best. I love these topics that you guys are coming up with. Keep coming and asking me or telling me about different topics that you'd like to hear. Give me more ideas of what you guys want to talk about when it relates to the airline industry, because we're all in this together. You know, we want to make it fun, and we want to just do our best to have a successful airline life, so we can just get up and travel whenever we want to, have that freedom, have that rich luxury of being able to do so. So I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you in the next video.